Start.
Yes.
Count 10 and
Yes.
start.
Yes. Sir, Madam will be starting.
A very good morning, dear students. Session 1 in the morning was a very intense physical activity session, skipping, jumping jacks, etc. You were led on by Dr. N. Srinivas, our physical director, along with Neeraj Bhaiya. That's so nice of them. By now, you have set yourself a fitness regime, I suppose. Now, in this session, it's again related to SIP Module 2. It's related to physical health and other related activities. Today, we have lined up for you a talk on health and nutrition. Because we all know that no matter how hard we exercise, we cannot be strong and healthy unless we make healthy choices about the food we eat. We are what we eat. So we have a session on nutrition by Dr. Sujatha Stephen, Head Department of Dietetics and Nutrition, Yashodha Hospitals, Malakpet. The session will be moderated by Mr. K. Shrikant, our Life Sciences faculty. Session 3, you will join again at 12 for the proficiency module under SIP module 6 in computers. It is planned by our Ranjit sir. He has it all planned out for you. Session 4, I suggest you must not miss today. Very few will ever get a chance to witness. Let me tell you why. We all use smartphones. We take pics. Some of you must be used to taking selfies, pictures of everything around you. We may be using Snapchat and we may be uploading our daily pics. Some of the pics may be good and some you may know may not be satisfying. So what is it that makes a good pic? You know, a picture, they say, says 1,000 words. You know what words fail, a picture can capture. So we have a talk, or rather I should say, a hands-on live session by our creative director and ad photographer, Mr. Satya Prabhu, who will demonstrate to you the finer nuances of photography. And it's upon Sir's insistence, we had to extend the session. So unlike every day where you log in at 2 p.m., today you log in at 1:30 p.m. And I assure you it would be very fun, hands-on and exciting. And the session would be moderated by Dr. Tanushree Sarkar, so don't miss it. Have a nice day, enjoy your sessions, be an active participant. And regarding tomorrow's valedictory program, watch out, stay close with your branch coordinators, they'll update you. And thank you, students, and have a nice day. May I now request Mr. Shrikant to take over? Sir, kindly take over.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Very good morning, respected principal, ma'am, vice principal, HODs, faculty, parents, and my dear students. I, K. Shrikant, Assistant Professor, Biology and Applied Science and Humanities Department. I welcome you all to the today's session on SIP Module 2 on physical health and related activities, nutrition and health. Before starting the session, let us start for the prayer. We'll start with Vande Mataram.
Very warm welcome for everyone. Now, I invite Dr. Sujatha Stephen Garu for today's session. Dr. Sujatha ma'am, she is RD certified practicing nutritionist in Hyderabad with almost 2 decades of clinical practice experience at various hospitals. Presently, she is an executive member of Indian Diabetic Association Telangana chapter. She strongly believes in active participation of the dietitian in multidisciplinary patients care team. Her areas of interest include PCOS, obesity management, diabetes management, critical care, nutrition, etc. She is also presented several health talks in various corporate organizations. She is actively involved in media channels and wrote many columns and articles in various leading newspapers and magazines. She is involved in training interns and fresh graduates. She has presented several papers in national and international conferences. She has also won awards, Best Media Presenter Award in 2013 by TV7 Health Channel Private Limited, Arc of Excellency Award at All India Achievers Conference, New Delhi on 21st August 2014, Vaidya Ratna Award in 2015 by BTV Channel Hyderabad, Women Excellence Award on International Women's Day 2016, March 6th from His Excellency Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, Mr. K. Roshaya Garu. Best Dietitian Award for year 2020, Sadhana Awards from Her Excellency Honorable Governor of Telangana, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial Excellence Award in the year 2000. Well, we are very happy for your presence, ma'am, for today's session. Now, Dr. Sujatha Stephen, ma'am, to take over the session.
Thank you, Shrikant Garu, and good morning, everyone. And thank you, Sunita ma'am, and all the faculty members and our honorable chairman of the college, and all the staff members for inviting me for presenting session and interacting with the students. And today we will be starting about the nutrition and about well-being and how to get fit and all. So let me start the presentation. Shrikant Garu, can I share the presentation?
Madam, is presentation visible, ma'am?
Yeah, now I can see the presentation.
Madam, voice is not audible. Can you please raise your voice?
Yeah. Hello, Shrikant garu, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's audible now.
Okay. So, will you change the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and let's start understanding about ourselves and about our health. And ముఖ్యంగా మనం ఈ లాక్డౌన్ టైంలో we have understood that how important is being healthy kada. So health is what everybody were looking out during this period of pandemic, and we understood that the key challenge in this particular time is meeting our nutritional needs. So I got a lot of calls, and a lot of people are trying to reach me about how to get proper diet and how to get healthy nutrition and all. So and regarding their diet and how to improve immunity, and these are the main concerns have come up during this lockdown period. So we all understood that being healthy will definitely help you to come out of all this whatever viral infections or whatever the diseases we have been facing all these years. So being healthy is what important with your diet and exercise. So during this period, what I understood is we have seen people coming up with COVID infection. Very young people, like I've seen 24 years boy have come to hospital, who's been here in the hospital only for 4 to 8 hours, and he couldn't survive. But there are people who are 60 plus years and they've recovered and they went back home. So here what we understand is being healthy and keeping your health in proper with your fitness and immunity and all these matters, how to face these pandemic situations. So that's where we understand that malnutrition, undernutrition, overnutrition, these are the main challenges which have been faced during this period. And environmental, like it's like totally infection, and how we are able to withstand and how strong is our immunity. And some people with comorbids like diabetes and heart diseases and all, how they are coping up with this kind of infections. And if you have this compromised immunity, so this is the period where we understood how to get healthy and how to maintain our health with good proper diet. So what we know is, like, all these years a lot of people have neglected their diet. So they were being busy with their own schedule, with too much of stress, and with workload and having irregular diet, and not taking proper care, no physical activity. So all this have impact on their health. So that's where when this kind of situations comes, we look back and we understand that there is something which we have to do, and we have to change our lifestyle and get healthy, and then we can face these kind of things and be fit and recover faster. So that's why nutrition is very important, and now people start understanding like how to get healthy with diet and exercise. Next. So when you see the situations in India, we understand that our Indian population has overweight and also underweight. So we are having struggling with overweight at the same time underweight. because of the irregular eating and not having proper healthy diet and not taking uh, whatever the nutrition we have to get from the diet. So that's where I see that underweight is also a main concern, whereas the overweight, obesity is also leading in our country. So both are like what we are facing, because I get a lot of young boys coming up to me asking for, madam, I'm very underweight, I want to gain weight, and how to gain weight, how to gain muscle and all. And same time I get the same age youngsters who are coming up with overweight, obese, and they want to lose weight. So that's where we understand that the balanced nutrition where it is missing, and that's why we Indians are facing this overweight and also the underweight conditions. Next. And also, when you see, diabetes is also a major concern now. India is leading in diabetes. So in the last decades, like when you see, India is advancing in technology and economy and all, but when you see the simultaneously the diseases also, we are under lead. And India has the second highest number of diabetic patients. And age group, when you see, it is a very young age, people are now getting into diabetes, like 22, even the older age people are also having this diabetes is during because of the aging and sometimes their sedentary lifestyle. But the young generation, like recently I've got one girl who is just 15 years, who is doing her plus 2. She has come with high blood sugar levels. So she doesn't have any history of diabetes, but still we understood that because of lack of physical activity and too much stress, what she's handling in her studies. So that's where she ended up in diabetes. So it's understand that people are getting into this diabetes, cardiac problems and all in a very young age because of the stress and not having that healthy lifestyle, then no physical activity and all. So that's why we India are is leading in diabetes in these days, along with the obesity and the diabetes, and then also the cardiac problems. Next. So when you see, hypertension is also leading in our country, like younger generation are more prone to hypertension, and in very young age, just like diabetes, like I've seen recently 24 years boy who has sudden heart stroke, and he has a heart attack. So this is the conditions wherein you see, not because of the age, but these diseases usually we see in the aged persons, like in the elderly population. But nowadays the younger generation are facing this kind of problems. It's only because of the lifestyle problems, and it is more in urban areas compared with the rural areas, because here because of not using having physical activity, not doing physical activity, and too much of junk food and eating irregular timings, these are the major reasons why people are ending up with this hypertension and diabetes and obesity and all this. Next. So apart from this, even conditions like PCOS is also is high in younger girls, like women, in teenagers. Most of the teenagers are coming up with this hormonal imbalance. This also is India is leading because of girls less physical activity, and also not having proper protein diet, and irregular eating, and having lot of stress during this teenage age. So that's where we are having the problem. Yes. So that's where these are the actual present situation in our country. So you being a future India, how to get rid of all this disease and how to be healthy. So that's what we have to understand, and we'll just go through how to get this healthy nutrition and improve your lifestyle. So let's start with nutrition. So what is nutrition? So nutrition is nourishment and supply of the materials, like how we need a fuel, energy to do a lot of activities, and nutrition is what supplies you the important components like your body needs, like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. We know all these are important, but the diet what you eat are really supplying all these nutrients is what we are concerned. So when your body gets all these nutrients from the food what you eat, then your body will manage all the functions, everything will goes on, and your metabolism will be healthy, and your body functions are healthy, and you will not enter into any kind of these diseases like diabetes, hypertension and all. So when you eat proper food which will make your body stronger and improves your health and keep you fit, but when you eat unhealthy food, and even should, so it is very easy to know your ideal weight. And then the other important thing which you have to understand is body mass index. So body mass index is like it will let you know how well you are nourished, and in what category you are, in the overweight category or in your obese category or in the underweight category. So this formula you can apply for your height and weight, and you know which is where you are standing, like weight in kgs by height in meter square. So if your BMI is 18 to 23, then it is normal. If it is more than 23 and 23 to 25, then it is like nowadays 26, we are taking it as a overweight, and more than 26 we are taking into obese category. So now we have changed the standards also because of the population are more into obese and overweight, and the conditions, the environmental, the eating pattern, everything is being changed. So next is waist circumference is also very important to know how risk you are in cardiac diseases or whatever. So the first thing is you have to understand that the waist fat, but abdominal fat is the higher risk for hypertension and obesity and heart related problems and obesity. So that's why we just have to check once in a while these three. If you know, then you will know whether you are in a healthy zone or unhealthy zone, so that you can do corrections in your diet. And as early as you start doing corrections, correcting your diet and your lifestyle, so you can get healthy. But this is the age, like in the younger age, it is easy for you to change your eating habits to get into a healthy way of lifestyle, so which will show impact on your when you are into older years, like when you're 40 plus. So all these irregular eating habits and you have an unhealthy lifestyle in this teenager, then this will affect you when you are in a older age, like when you get into this elder generation, then you will start having all this problem. So a healthy weight is like by eating right and having exercise and sensible lifestyle habits. So all this will give you that healthy weight. It will not happen overnight. A lot of people, when they start think that they are overweight, they start doing some restricted diets and fat diets, and they start starving themselves, and they end up in losing their health and all these problems. But when it comes to being healthy weight, it will not happen overnight. So you need to do start eating right and do some exercise, and when you start changing your lifestyle and your habits, then you will end having that longer life, and also healthy lifestyle, and will be there for you for the next lifetime. Because being healthy is what we have to understand, that starts from having a disciplined lifestyle. So this lifestyle, whichever you start doing in an early age, will impact on your health in the future. And risk factors are there, like if you see how, if you don't maintain that health, and the first thing is age will also, as you are aging, you may not have that metabolism what you are having now, and as you are aging, there are a lot of changes occurs in your body. So either your heart function or your metabolism, your activity levels, so all this will impact. So in a younger age, when you start doing that changes, so it will be continued in the next. And gender is like male also and female have different health risk conditions. So hormonal imbalances and cardiac problems and obesity and all. So that also cause impact on yours. And race and family history, and you have any family history of diabetes, hypertension and all, so then you need to understand that doing changes in your diet and maintaining, you can postpone those diabetic, even though you have family history, you can early onset can be postponed, and then you can manage with the healthy eating habits. And faulty eating habits also causes a risk. So having irregular lifestyle and all will impact on your health, and inactive lifestyle will cause impact on your health, and addictions, habits like all this will also cause impact on on your health. And stress is again a major concern which will have impact on your health. So, and we should understand that the major concern what we are facing is these days, a lot of youngsters are entering into this obesity in a very young age. So once you are overweight, then you are inviting all the disease conditions. Like when you see diabetes, hypertension, and stroke, and other all the metabolic disorders, you will be like inviting if you are overweight. So that's why we always say that managing your weight in a healthy way is very important, and you can prevent all those diseases, even the cancers and all those diseases you can prevent if you can come out of this obesity. And how to balance this is, again, we need to have that healthy lifestyle. So healthy lifestyle, how to manage is like, the first thing is correct weight, like maintaining your ideal body weight, and healthy diet, and physical exercise, and sound sleep is also very important, and stress free mind, and regular checkups. So when you have all these factors, then you can understand that you can get into a healthy lifestyle by doing the changes and maintaining all this in a proper regular manner. So for this, we need to understand that how to get into this healthy diet. So healthy diet is like, we have to understand that what is this healthy diet, isn't it? So next, the healthy diet is comes with your balanced nutrition. Whatever you eat should provide you all the nutrition, like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals. So when you provide this in a proper required amount, like whatever the recommended allowances for your body to maintain your functions, so these have to be balanced. If you have more carbohydrates and less proteins, again there is an imbalance, and then you enter into malnutrition. And when you don't have vitamins, minerals in your diet, again you enter into micronutrient deficiencies. And that's why this macro and micronutrients have to be balanced in your diet. Then you can manage the healthy diet. And physical activity, like you need to have a regular physical activity and keep yourself fit, means you have to start with the exercise. And I know a lot of people are more into this fitness and do a lot of physical activity, and keep yourself always checking your weight and all. So this all comes with starting with regular physical activity. Then you can build up your body, build up your muscles, And to maintain that fitness and to maintain that body fitness, you need to have continue that regular, consistent in physical activity and diet, and also keeping yourself stress free. That is very important, not to get into too much of stress. And to maintain that stress free life, you need to have this physical activity and diet and all will help you, and all this will impact on your healthy lifestyle. Next. So healthy diet, why it is important is, like as we said, healthy balanced diet plan you should be having, and it promotes your mood, energy, and self-esteem, and also to help to reduce this anxiety and stress. So when you have this good diet and maintain that healthy lifestyle, then it will helps in having that energy levels. I've seen a lot of youngsters coming up to me that they get exhausted by end of the day, and they don't feel like doing any work. And after going from coming from the college, and that shows that their energy is not balanced, whether their intake is low and then expenditure is more, or intake is more and then expenditure is less. So that causes that energy imbalance. So when you are active and energy throughout the day, means that shows that your energy is balanced. So your intake and then your output is also both are balanced. So when you have that energy, you feel more confident. You feel that you can achieve anything, you can do anything, any kind of challenges you will be ready to take. And also when you are having a proper health, that will also reduces your anxiety, and you will not have this mood swings, and there's concentration problems and irritating mood, and all this will be managed when you have a proper healthy diet. So concentration is what we nowadays, I see a lot of people, they are not able to concentrate, and they keep checking their mobiles, or they keep get into that what do you say, mood swings, and they're not having that proper concentration. That is all because when you don't have proper diet, like if you are skipping meals, and when you are in a negative energy balance, also will distract you from concentration, and your performance also will be affected. And also when you have this healthy diet, there is chances of getting sick is less. So you will have that healthy lifestyle, and you will not get sick frequently, like a lot of people seasonally they get this viral infections, they usually get cold, cough very frequently. That is because of their healthy, not having that healthy lifestyle, and immunity, all this will impact. And other diseases like obesity, heart disease, and all also in future, there are chances you may end up with this kind of. So at overall, when you see, the productivity will get affected, and ability to work also in your workplace also will get affected when you don't have a proper healthy lifestyle. So what are the key issues what you have to understand in this is, like your nutrition requirements, and what are the recommendations, like how much you have to eat and what you are eating, and what are these micronutrients, and how to balance your energy and your physical activity, and then how your diet will impact on your cognitive abilities, and then your behavior and the eating disorders. These are the issues what these days the teenagers are facing. So we'll quickly go through these conditions and understand how we can balance these issues. Next. So nutrition requirement is, yeah, Srikant garu. So first thing we have to understand is, like the basics of nutrition is, like you should know what is a balanced diet and how much we have to uh, uh, intake, means how much food you have to take. So first thing is carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamin, minerals, all this we need to get from the food what we eat. But how much to eat is that the basic thing is the portion size, is how much of portions you have to eat. So the major portion of your diet will be having your carbohydrate foods, and these carbohydrates also healthy carbohydrates you should be having, because nowadays you see a lot of refined processed foods are there, and which will make you more inactive, and also you having too much of unnecessary calorie intake, and you end up in overweight and obesity. So that's why the carbohydrates are not bad, but when you have healthy carbohydrates, when you choose that whole cereals and whole complex carbohydrates which contain along with the fiber, like you can include your cereals like rice, wheat, ragi, and all those things. And then proteins are what we have to understand that should be there in your diet regularly. And the protein deficiency is also a major concern nowadays, why we are having this all these health problems. So protein sources, like you have to have, we are non-vegetarian, you can include meat or cereals like dals and all. Different from having the as you're aging, your requirements are changed according to your age and your gender. Like girls have different requirements and boys have different requirements, and also based on your physical activity. If you're physically active, then your requirements are changed, and you need to change your diet according to your physical activity. Some people are more into bodybuilding and they are more into high intensity exercises and all. So for them, the diet will be different, like depending on your activity. Some are very normal, they go for a sedentary kind of lifestyle and their requirements are different. So based on that, requirements will be changed, and your physiological status, like usually in the pregnancy, in the lactation, and in the old age. So all these requirements will be changed as your lifestyle. And balanced diet should provide you around 60 to 70% of total calories from your carbohydrates, and preferably from your starch and whole grains, and 10 to 12% of the proteins, and 20 to 25% from the fat. So this is what the requirement, and this is what the recommendations. So when you can balance all this, then you can say that it is a balanced diet. So to achieve this balanced diet, you need to maintain that healthy weight and energy balance. You should be having protein, should be a part of your major diet, because nowadays when you see the proteins are being misused. So a lot of people, they think that taking this protein supplements and having protein shakes and all during their physical activity, like when they go for this gym and doing the exercise and all. So these proteins, whatever you take, has to be divided, means throughout the day. It's not that only one meal you should have high protein and other days you other meals, if it is not balanced, then it is going to cause that imbalance. Your body will not be able to digest those proteins. So you need to have the proteins in all the three meals, and you have to distribute throughout the day. And also you should have this healthy proteins. And most of the diets are protein deficiency these days, because we understand that all the protein foods, like non-vegetarians, when they eat meal only non-veg, is like once in a week or twice a week, like. And people think that they are getting their enough proteins, but it will not, because when you take non-veg, it has to be like daily dose, like you have to include daily egg or milk or some non-veg food in any of the meals. So then only you can meet your protein requirements. So, and another thing is like elimination of these trans fats. Like when you see nowadays, lot of junk food, lot of processed foods are there in the market, and which we usually prefer, and which always comes up with these trans fats. And when you see the previous generation, these trans fats are not much. So a lot of cancers and lot of diseases were very in control in those years. But nowadays, because we are having most of the foods comes up with the trans fats, means like foods which are cooked in oil, deep fried foods, processed foods in fat. So those are the foods which will get these trans fats. And saturated fats also, we have to have the limited consumption of these saturated fats. When you have more saturated fats, you will end up with cholesterol problems or over like obesity, and heart problems are very high because of not having this balanced intake of healthy fats. So unhealthy fats, you need to be conscious and limit intake of simple sugars. Like most of the sugary foods, like your drinks, soft drinks, and all the sweets, which we usually like. Most of us, we have the favorite foods of sweets, but when you take over intake of these foods, also can lead you into imbalance in your diet and your overweight and all those things. So that's why you should have a limit. So when you have that portion control, then you will not have any health risk. So whatever you eat, it has to be proportionate. And eat plenty of vegetables, and vegetables and fruits are the most neglected.
Participants, please hold on. This is a somewhat technical issue and we'll be resuming back. Welcome back, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, I think there's some problem in hospital. Network is
Ma'am, we can resume,
low.
ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. We are discussing about how to get this balanced diet, isn't it? So eating that plenty of vegetables, fruits, and this will help you to maintain your micronutrients and also not getting into deficiencies of this vitamin deficiencies and mineral deficiencies. And to have that healthy immunity also, you should be able to have that antioxidant rich vitamins and minerals from only from your fruits and vegetables. So including the iodized salt and limiting the caffeine and alcohol, and including plenty of vitamin minerals, and fiber is very important to keep your healthy digestive system, and plenty of water. So all this will help you to balance your nutrition, and getting your nutrition balanced nutrition is only when you have all this in your diet. And how much you have to include is like carbohydrates, at least 60% of carbohydrates, and proteins 20%, and fat at least 25%, and vitamin minerals fiber 30 grams per day. And water is what we always neglect, and you need to have at least 2 to 3 liters of water to keep yourself hydrate. And lot of youngsters come up with lot of this dehydration, and because they don't include water in their daily intake. So when you see the recent studies like where NIN and ICMR have done the study, where it shows that we Indians protein intake is very low compared with the requirement, how much we have to take. So the protein requirement, protein intake per day is very low, even in the urban areas and the rural areas. Means we are not able to meet that proteins for daily dosage. So the diet what you are eating is mostly protein deficiency. That's where it impact on your health, and lot of hormonal diseases and metabolic diseases. All these are raised because we are not maintaining this protein intake. So how to get this proper proteins is like only when you take adequate protein sources in your diet, and including them in your regular basis, then only you can meet the protein, and also this will help you to maintain that healthy lifestyle. So proteins, like what are the main protein sources? As you know, non-vegetarian foods, like people who are non-vegetarians have all the sources of non-veg from milk, egg, meat, fish, seafoods, and all those are you can include in your daily basis. And vegetarians, they can include all your dals and legumes, all your whole legumes like rajma, chole, and all, paneer and milk products, soya. These are the major sources of the protein. And main problem is not about the protein foods like non-vegetarians. I know non-veg, most of the people, they love to have non-veg, but the way you cook and the way you include is what matters. So when you have that proteins rich foods like non-vegetarian in a healthy way, not having too much of spicy and masala or deep frying, and all this will again add on lot of unnecessary calories and too much of fat along with the protein. So there not be no use of having a protein food, and also you are adding so much of fat. So that's why all your protein foods have to be cooked properly in a healthy way, and include them in a healthy manner, so that you can have the goodness of that proteins to your body. And the same way carbohydrates, you have healthy carbohydrates and unhealthy carbohydrates, like all these your buns, bakery products, all your pizza, burgers, and all those are having that refined flours, refined carbohydrates. So this will again end up you in health issues like your intestinal problems. And I've seen lot of
youngsters suffering with this intestinal obstruction and intestinal infections because not taking proper fiber in their diet. So that fiber plays a very important role to keep your gut healthy, to keep your system healthy. So that's why healthy carbohydrates comes up with fiber. So include a lot of cereals, whole cereals, and all kind of cereal foods you can include, so which will add on good amount of fiber and which will help for keeping your healthy digestion. And then next comes your plate. How you have to plan your plate, that is very important. So when you are eating, just check whether your plate is in this manner. Like when you see, it should contain more about, when you see this is the plate what is being recommended for our Indian population by ICMR. So your plate should be having plenty of vegetables. You see, like half of your plate is having more of vegetables and fruits, but actually when you see your plate contains more of rice or some other all the fried foods and all, and somewhere in the corner you will be keeping one small vegetable cup, but that is not the way of eating. So you should be having, your plate should be planned like you should have one portion of your cereals, and you should have 4 to 5 portions of vegetables, and at least 2 portions of fruits, and also cereal dals and your non-veg, and your all this have to be taken in a proper manner. This is how you have to balance your plate. And also you should have some amount of water, like fluid you can include, and curd or buttermilk, whichever it is. So when you plan like this, then your plate will be healthy, and also you will be getting all the nutrients what we are discussing right now. So all this can be achieved only when you plan your plate in this way of manner. And then your plate should be containing mostly all your protein foods, and you should be having a like your beans or your egg or chicken or non-veg, whatever it is, and your sources of carbohydrates like your whole cereals, like your whole wheat, oats or ragi or millets, or this nowadays lot of millets are available in the market, so you can include all this. So, and fruits and vegetables, you should be having at least half of your plate, means at least 1 or 2 fruits in your day, and more of vegetables, all your green leafy vegetables, yellow, orange vegetables. So all this will meet your daily vitamin doses, what you usually miss in your regular diet when you don't include plenty of vegetables. And next, and your macronutrients like carbohydrates, as we said, you have to meet your carbohydrate requirements and protein requirements and your dietary fat, and also your vitamin, water and fiber. So these are the major concerns. When you don't need to worry about all this, but when you include all these fruits, vegetables and everything, so automatically you will be able to meet your requirements of your proteins and carbohydrates and fats and vitamins and minerals. So that's why when you include all these food groups in your diet, you will be able to nourish your body with all these macronutrients, which are very major concern. And micronutrients, next, micronutrients, when you see, you have to get your vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and riboflavin, folate. All these are the major important nutrients for teenage boys and girls, where these nutrient deficiencies are the major concerns nowadays. A lot of youngsters entering into a lot of nutrient deficiencies, and also having health issues in early age because of this deficiency of vitamins and minerals, and are not able to meet with their regular diet, because they usually go with all the macronutrient foods, but missing out their major micronutrients in their diet. Next. And good fat is what we have to understand. We always think that fat means it's a bad, or sometimes we love all the fat foods, like all the like deep fried foods or favorite foods, like most of people, they like this samosas and pastries and pizzas and all those, because these foods are more tastier, but they are more unhealthy also. That's why when you eat foods, you have to understand that portion control is what a very important. We don't say not to eat, but when you eat, it has to be in a controlled portion, not to have too much of food, too much of this fatty foods. You should be having in a regular controlled portion. Then you will not enter into this unhealthy this thing. And also this fat foods have to be mostly preferred to have homemade, because outside is lot of adulterated fats being used, and unhygienic conditions, and they use that reused oils, which is causing more impact on the health, and also leading to a lot of cancers. Colon cancers, stomach cancers are also high because of eating this unhealthy oils, and also reused oils which are being used, and adulterated oils. When you eat these biryanis and all outside, we have no idea what kind of oils they are using. So that's why healthy fats you have to include. Like healthy fats, what you get in is like omega 3, omega 6, which you get from this fish, and also nuts, like you can include all your almonds, pista, walnuts, like dry fruits you can include. And these like regular cooking oils, which are also again give you some amount of healthy fats, like unsaturated fats. So these are the things which you can include regularly, which helps your body, and also which improves your metabolism, and it keeps your body healthy, heart healthy. So that's why always prefer good fats rather than the bad fats. And what kind of oils you should be using is like try to include a combination of oils, like you can have regularly having uh, regular intake of oils, combination of oils you have to take, like refined oils. What you usually get is sunflower, groundnut, and other things. But only thing is you have to understand that it has to be a quality wise, you have to understand. Okay, nowadays, because the market is full of all adulterated oils, so make sure that you get a good brand quality oils, and include lot of omega 3 fatty acids from your nuts and seeds and all. And trans fats have to be watched out, and low fat cooking, like you have to include that low fat is very important, not having deep fried foods regularly, and keep watch on your fats whatever you take, and have to understand that nutrition label also, that's very important. And per day it is half liter per person per month is the recommendation. And salt again is what you have to understand is how much of salt we have to take. Nowadays lot of foods what you eat outside comes with too much of salt, and that is a major concern why people are entering into hypertension and heart related issues in a very young age. So that's why salt is what we have to keep a check, and try to make sure that you eat food with normal salt, whatever your requirement is, like 5 grams, not more than 5 to 6 grams, or maximum 8 grams is what is the recommendation. But if you take one idli sambar outside, like when from the hotel, it itself contains more salt. And all the foods, like whatever, if you eat pickles, like too much of pickle, too much of salt in the pickles, papads, and all your chips packets, like when you eat one packet of your Lay's chips or whatever it is, it contains almost your day salt is being you get from one packet of the chips. So that's why you have to watch out not to take too much of salt from your food, and which makes you dehydrate, and it makes you feel like having more food, means craving for the foods that develops if you eat too much of salty foods. So that's why have control on your salt, and daily requirement salt you have to meet from your whatever the food what you eat. And then next comes about your immunity. So most of the time now during this COVID time, everybody were looking out how to build up your immunity. So this immunity will not be developed in overnight. So it has to be with your regular physical activity, and you keep your body healthy, your system will work out better, and your digestive system should be better, because your most of the immunity cells are in your what do you say, your intestines, where you have to have healthy gut. So when you have healthy gut, your immune system will be better, and when you start eating healthy foods, your immune system will get all the means that immunity cells whichever have to be developed, it has to get a proper nutrition. So that's why it needs a lot of antioxidants. Your body needs a lot of antioxidant, vitamins and minerals. So this will not develop in overnight, but when you have a healthy lifestyle and a proper diet, then you will have a good strong immune system. So to maintain that immune system, you need to include lots of fruits, vitamins like vitamin C rich fruits, and vegetables with orange yellow vegetables, and probiotic foods are also very important, which keeps that healthy bacteria in your system, which keeps your intestines and stomach healthy. So that's why that also plays a very important role. And also nuts and seeds, which comes up with good amount of proteins. So that's what we say, importance of protein, because every cell in your body needs these proteins, and which you need to get from the food what you eat. So that's why you should have that healthy protein foods include in your regular dosage, and not having too much of fatty foods, which will again hinder your immune system. So, and apart from this having, there are certain spices also which helps to boost up your immunity, but this is not the only one which will boost up immunity, because a lot of people I've seen, they'll be drinking all these kashayams and taking all this. But in our Indian tradition, when you see, we usually include all these spices in your regular diet, like your cinnamons, pepper, and all this we usually include in your cooking and also in your diet. So along with having a healthy lifestyle, when you have any kind of cold, regular common cold or seasonal cold and cough, you can include all the spices in your diet, so that it will help to recover faster. But maintaining that immune system, it should be comes out with the overall health, and also maintaining the physical activity. And which hinders your immunity is like your sugary foods, all your junk, too much of fat, too much of sugar, too much of salt, all this will show impact on your immunity. Even though you have a good immunity, but when you start eating all these foods, this will reduce the power of your means that immune system will not be as strong as and also you will not be able to withstand, like when you get any infections. To improve your recovery should be better, means you should not have this kind of unhealthy lifestyle or unhealthy foods like smoking, and also means it will show impact on your vitamin doses, like when you have good vitamin rich foods, but when you smoke, again your vitamin C will not be able to be active. So that's why it will impact on that. So that's the reason, when you having healthy diet, you need to watch out your habits also, smoking, alcohol, and also your healthy unhealthy lifestyle like inactive physical activity. So all this will make you understand that this is going to cause impact on your immunity. So we have to develop healthy eating habits and trying to come out of all these unhealthy things, which will help you to improve your immunity. Next. And food labels, like nowadays as we are into all these modernized foods, and we usually go to supermarkets and we buy all the processed foods. So when you are buying these processed foods, you have to understand that reading nutrition label is very important, because whether it contains what is there in that particular food. because all the processed foods are comes up with this nutrition label. So to know how much of calories it gives, to know how much of saturated fats are there, whether to how much of salt, how much of sugar, and to know how much of protein is there. So try to understand that reading, most of us we neglect reading this nutrition label. So that's where we don't know what is there in that processed food. So that's why you have to understand that reading nutrition label will make you understand that how much of proteins you are getting from that particular product, because every product will have their own nutrition requirements, and they mention everything what is there you get from that. So most of the foods which comes up with lot of trans fats and lot of salt and all, so you want to watch out, then you need to read this nutrition label. And also portion controlling, this is what missing nowadays in most of the teenagers, because they end up eating too much of food at one meal and they don't eat another meals. So when you don't have this portion control, then you start having the problem of overeating, and then you start having starving also. So that's why portion control is what you have to watch out. So when you order your burgers or pizzas, you should know like what is your portion requirement, because sometimes when you see nowadays every all the fast food centers comes up with lot of offers, giving you 1+1 and too many kind of food items which comes in on your way. So don't try to overeat all those things, but be conscious and try to control that portion. So when you control, then you will not have this overeating, and you can have a proper control on your food. So and start with changes in your food habits regularly, and try to eat food in proper timings. That's what missing in your diet. Like when you eat irregular timings, like breakfast one day you are at 7 o'clock, one day 9 o'clock, one day 10 o'clock. So when you have this irregular timings, your system will also get impact on your metabolism, and you start ending up in overweight or obese or diabetes. So don't skip your meals, but eat on time. And eating on portion control, and try to concentrate when you're eating, because most of the time when you're eating, we usually scroll your mobiles and we keep talking to people and we don't know how much we are eating. So that's why mindful eating is what we always suggest, and try to eat in a portion control, and eat your vegetables. Try to eat some salads or vegetables first, because when you are hungry you eat more quantity of rice or whatever you feel like. So that will again you end up in overeating. Means that portion control you may not be able to control when you are hungry. So that's why start with some vegetables or some glass of water, or so that you can control the portion and you can control your hunger. And slow down, try to eat chew the food. Like nowadays lot of people, they don't chew the food, they just swallow the food because they want to make it fast, or they don't eat regular whatever the food what you eat. That digestion process also will get effect when you don't chew the food. So that's why try to chew the food and eat slowly and take a time for your meals, so which will help for the proper digestion, and also you should feel that you are having a proper meal. And apart from that, when you see a lot of girls nowadays, they end up with this iron deficiency. Anemia is very high in Indian population, like Indian women who are teenagers. Still we have 50% of girls are iron deficiency. So that's why focus on your iron intake and check your iron levels in your blood, and try to improve on that, and increase your iron rich foods in your diet, because this is the age where you will be having lot of changes in your body, and also you have to prepare yourself for the next physiological changes, and try to make sure that you maintain that good iron rich foods in your diet regularly. And this deficiency of this iron also will impact on your health, and a lot of girls end up with anemia, severe anemia, and they come to hospital and they have to go for the blood transfusions. So that's why mostly people who are on vegetarian diets have to understand that they need to include a lot of iron rich foods, like all your dals, your legumes like rajma, chole, and all, and you can include fruits, dry fruits, and all this will contain good amount of iron. So try to include your jaggery and for vegetarians mostly include all variety of this legumes like dals and all will contain good amount of iron along with your regular diet, green leafy vegetables, milk, all this you have to include in your diet to maintain your iron. And absorption, to maintain iron absorption, you need to also have this vitamin C rich fruits. So along with your iron rich foods, you have to include vitamin C rich foods also in your diet to maintain that iron levels. And next comes with the calcium. So calcium is also very, because we don't feel thirsty, we don't drink water. So you have to keep yourself drink water every 2 hours. One glass of water is very important. So that's why throughout the day, like most of the people, what they do is they drink 1 to 2 liters in the morning, and they think that whole day I don't need to drink because we don't want to go to washrooms and all. But that will not help you out, because you need to have water in a regular intervals every 2 hours to keep your body function healthy, and also to keep your skin moist and everything. You need to have water in a proper intervals, and not to have sugary drinks and all to keep you hydrated, but water and some fruit juices or anything or other fluids also you can include. And then next is breakfast. As I said, breakfast is the very important meal in a day. So people who skip breakfast are the major risk of having diabetes, overweight, obesity. So that's why never skip your breakfast, and early breakfast is very important. So don't delay your breakfast, and have your breakfast in your mid-morning time, but have in the early part of the day, like by 7, 8 o'clock. Early breakfast is very important, and plan your breakfast to be good, because this is the major meal for you throughout the day, which keeps you going. So if you have a proper breakfast throughout the day, you feel active, you feel energetic, and you can have a proper understanding, you can concentration on your studies when you attend your classes. But when you skip your breakfast, you cannot concentrate, and there will be a lot of mood swings, and you will not be able to understand, and also your performance also will be impact. So that's why breakfast you should never skip, and which helps in better nutrition intakes and also controlling your weight. And cognitive ability is like when you have a good amount of nutrients in your diet, which helps you maintain your memory, your information processing, and your moods. Like most of us will have this moods swings. I see teenagers, they have a lot of mood swings are there. That's because of nutrient deficiency. So that's why plan your meal, try to have proper intake of your diet, so which helps to keep your mood calm, and you can understand better, and you can perform better in your studies also, when you understand that the nutrition is very important for you to concentrate on your studies. And we always have some foods also, like you get very favorite foods sometimes, and your moods also will be impact on your foods, isn't it? Like when you are happy, you want to share with the food. When you are sad also, you end up overeating kind of thing. So that's why that emotional eating, what we say. So don't get emotion with the food, and emotional with the food, and don't overeat or don't undereat. So that's why to keep your moods in a calm, and you should have a healthy mindset, means you should have good amount of food, which your brain foods like omega 3, omega 6, and also you should have all these flax seeds, nuts, and all, which helps you keep your active. First thing is, it will be active, alert. You won't feel drowsy when you eat this kind of healthy foods in your diet. And also foods which are rich in minerals like selenium, zinc, and all, which is very important for your brain. And also it will help you to manage this anxiety and depression also. So that's why you should have that foods which helps to keep your mood healthy. And also some chocolates, sometimes they will also maintain, means help you to keep your dark chocolates and all. So try to include these foods but not overeat them. So overeating again cause you unnecessary, end up of having unnecessary calorie intake. And fast foods are the mood distractors. So if you have fast foods, and that's going to disaster your whole day, and you will be in irritated mode and you cannot concentration on studies. So don't have this fast foods. Too much of fast foods will always make you more anxiety, and you will be more aggressive, and all this will, you can control your moods. This is what happens when you have this unnecessary junk foods, because the micronutrient deficiency. So fast foods always comes up with this kind of mood swings and all. So balance it with good exercise, and having good breakfast is what very important. And caffeine foods also causes lot of, even though they are energetic, but also stimulates your nervous system. So that's why don't go into sodas, carbonated drinks, and too much of chocolates, coffee, teas, and all. But instead, you can have fruit juices, fresh fruit juices, and all. But you have to focus on how to get this kind of healthy foods, which will also impact on your mood swings, anxieties, headaches. And a lot of people, they say they're having continuous this headaches and all because of micronutrient deficiency, and also too much of caffeine foods in their diet. And also some people, they have that low self-esteem, and they are more conscious of their self conscious will be there because of depression, and because of that eating disorders. Like most of the girls, they have these eating disorders, they end up with anorexic and all. So try to balance it, and don't think too much, and try to have healthy diet. And when you have this healthy diet and healthy mind, then automatically you can come out of all this anxiety, depression, and that low self-esteem. So these things are the most challenging things for you in this particular age. So, and also now society pressure or social pressures are there. Like people, we are more conscious of this social media and all, and we always try to have our role models of all this, which will always again cause you impact. And try to have in a positive way, try to take it in a positive way, and don't starve yourself, or don't end up in all these restricted diets and all, to maintain that figure conscious and all. Okay. And impact is like eating disorders, what usually people end up. So when you start eating healthy, you will understand that your body is getting the proper nutrition, so you will not have this unhealthy weight loss or unhealthy eating habits. And also try to balance it and maintain this. And mood behavior, as we said, that caffeine drinks and also will impact on your health and also on your moods. So try to balance and have good vitamin mineral rich foods, which are always associated with if you have low vitamin and mineral intake, which will affect on your educational attainment and also antisocial behaviors. And some foods, most of the foods what we eat, the processed foods always uh, comes up with all your food additives. And these are all the chemicals which are used in the food. So you have to be conscious of eating, when you are eating all the processed foods, always comes up with lot of junk, means food additives, and stabilizers, preservatives. All this will cause impact on your health. So that's why try to control eating processed foods, and go for all the natural foods, homemade foods, or which are not being processed, too much of processed foods. So your and your Tetra Pak foods, all this will contain the preservatives. On a regular intake of these preservatives, which cause you on impact on your hormones. So most of the girls, most of the women are or ending up this thyroids and different hormonal imbalances because of exposing to this kind of food additives and chemicals. So that's why you have to be conscious. And dietary improvements mostly have to include more milk and dairy products, more iron rich foods, and more oily means if you are a non-vegetarian, you can include oily fish, and also less foods of high saturated foods, and no added sugars, like control your sugary foods, and salt you have to be balance it, and more fruits and vegetables. So this is the things which you have to balance and improve in your daily diet, which help you to build up a healthy lifestyle in your future also. And physical activity is what you have to focus on. Include at least 60 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity every day. It's not like weekly ones or like that, but you have to include it daily. That will help you to maintain your body fitness, and also for the muscle buildup, and to maintain that healthy body, you have to include that physical activity. And the calorie intake and output, which you have to balance. So when you are eating, also you have to work out, so then only you can balance it. So both have to be go hand in hand, then only you can have that healthy fitness. So exercise and stress management, usually like you have to include at least 150 minutes per week, and muscle strengthening, like alternate days you can do, and yoga or some cardio exercises and aerobic exercises every day, and even the meditation and pranayam, all this will help you to boost up your immunity, to keep your body fit, to move, to keep your immunity, and your whole wellness of your body will be balanced only when you have all this in your regular exercise. And finally, I just want to give you some tips for this day, because I know you might be getting means what how to improve all this. Sometimes we get confused. So these are the tips which you can remember. And first thing what we have discussed is like eating healthy breakfast, and having it on a regular basis, and early breakfast, which is very important, and healthy snacks options, like when you are coming to college, always carry some nuts or some fresh fruits or something, instead of having junk food at your canteen, cafeteria and all, because that is the time which you feel like craving for the food and all. So that's why you have to include some healthy choices, always carry some healthy snacks with you, so that you will not end up in overeating or unnecessary junk foods. And you have to when you are eating out, like when you are eating in the go to outside for eating out, then you have to be conscious and try to order wisely. Now, not entering means not because to compromise for your friends, or don't get influenced by your friends, and don't over order the food, and over in eating that food also might end and eating unnecessary calorie foods. So that's why try to order it in a portion control, and understand how much you can able to eat. So that's very important. And also eat rich calcium rich foods and iron rich foods, which is very important in your diet. And you can also make sure that regular checkups, like you can go for once in a while, check your how good is your iron levels in your blood, and also have that regular follow up, so that you will know where you have going deficit in your diet, so you can balance it. And losing weight, you want to lose weight, then balance it with good diet and exercise. So don't be hurry in losing weight. Start with the small steps of doing changes in your diet, and gradually you start working out, and then you will definitely lose weight, but it is in a healthy way. But if you do it with the starvation and following all this trendy diets, like you see a lot of people google a lot of diets and they follow, and they end up with health issues, and they come back to me. So that's why don't follow all those diets, but understand your body, do small changes. You might be knowing where you're doing wrong, so try to correct that, and you will definitely show lot of change in your lifestyle, and you can see change in your energy levels, and also having that healthy diet will always keep you fit. So that's very important. And limit your sugar intake, like what we have told, that these sugary foods are very bad, and which is again causing impact on your energy levels. Like when you eat too much of sugary foods, you feel lethargic, and also you don't feel like having the energy will not be there. So that's why don't go for this sugary foods, but instead go for good protein foods. Like when you have good amount of proteins, you feel more energetic, more alert, more active in your day to day activities. So that's why control that sugary foods in your diet. And also you have to understand that ready to go meals, like ready to eat foods, also you have to be conscious. So maximum try to have home cooked foods, and control those fast foods, and ordering foods from outside, and don't overeat those foods, and limit alcohol. Like again, this is again what is the major concern. Like if you start having this bad habits in this younger age, will cause you impact. Like once when your career is in the peak, you will be having all the health issues. Like a lot of people, like recently I have one student from engineering. She has completed, and she been appointed in Microsoft in a very good position, but she was following some keto diet, some irregular diet, and from past 1 year. And once she joined her job, and not even it's been 1 month, she had a severe fracture, and she entered into she was bedridden, and she couldn't continue her job. So because of the low calcium levels, and because irregular diets will end you up in most of this kind of problems. So that's why we have to maintain that healthy diet and fitness in the starting from your before you start your career. So during your career time, you can have your best of your life when you balance it. So when you see the overall your take home message is: eat healthy, drink plenty of water, eat regular exercise, doing a regular exercise, and minimize this toxins, means all the chemical foods and all, and reduce your stress, and which always keeps you overall healthy. So this is what we are okay. With this, we'll end the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there are a few questions from the students. Just
Yeah.
I wanted to read it. Ma'am, regarding the youngsters, they will be facing the problem with calcium deficiency and iron deficiency, especially
Yeah.
people who are vegetarians. Ma'am, can you suggest a diet plan for to overcome calcium and iron deficiency in vegetarians?
Vegetarians, yes. So yeah, I've seen lot. That's why I focus more on this calcium and iron only, because calcium foods, like mostly in vegetarians, they can get from. There are a lot of sources of vegetables are there. Like your green leafy vegetables, spinach, and all the green leafy vegetables are rich in calcium. You can include all that in your diet, and milk is one of the good source, and also your this నువ్వులు అంటారు కదా, నువ్వులు
Yes,
చాలా
ma'am.
మంచివి, అండ్ ఆల్ యువర్ డ్రై ఫ్రూట్స్ లైక్ బాదాం, పిస్తా, వాల్నట్స్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఐరన్ రిచ్. అండ్ మోస్ట్లీ మిల్క్, ఒక గ్లాస్ ఆఫ్ మిల్క్ డైలీ మీరు ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటే దట్ విల్ అట్లీస్ట్ హెల్ప్ యూ టు గెట్, బికాస్ దిస్ ఇస్ డైటరీ సోర్సెస్. మనం టాబ్లెట్స్ రూపంలో తీసుకుంటే కంటే డైటరీ సోర్సెస్ లైక్ ఆకుకూరలు, కూరగాయలు, అండ్ మిల్క్, ఆల్ దీస్ ఆర్ ద major sources which you can include in your diet. And iron rich is again same, you can include green leafy vegetable, fruits, తర్వాత ఈ jaggery, dates, అండ్ ఆల్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా నువ్వులు, తర్వాత దాల్స్, ఆల్ యువర్ రాగి అండ్ ఆల్ దిస్ ఆల్సో ఐరన్ రిచ్. సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటూ అలాంగ్ విత్ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు హ్యావ్ వైటమిన్ సి రిచ్ ఫ్రూట్స్. సో ఇవన్నీ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటే యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ దిస్ ఐరన్ అండ్ కాల్షియం డెఫిషియన్సీస్ రాకుండా ఉండటానికి హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది.
Thank you, madam. Madam, another query. How do we overcome vitamin D deficiency, especially in vegetarian diet?
యా, సో వైటమిన్ డి మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ మధ్య కాలంలో చూస్తే చాలా మంది వైటమిన్ డి డెఫిషియన్సీస్తో ఉంటున్నారు. సో వైటమిన్ డి ముఖ్యంగా మనకి వచ్చేది సన్ రేస్ నుంచి. సో సన్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ ఇస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. డైలీ అట్లీస్ట్ 10 minutes ఆఫ్ సన్ ఎక్స్పోజర్ ఉంటే కనుక మనకి మ్యాక్సిమం స్కిన్ వైటమిన్ డిని ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకుంటుంది. కాబట్టి వీ నీడ్ టు హ్యావ్ సన్ ఎక్స్పోజర్. అండ్ ఫుడ్ వచ్చేసరికి చాలా వరకు లైక్ మిల్క్ అగైన్ ఇస్ అ గుడ్ సోర్స్ ఆఫ్ వైటమిన్ డి. అండ్ నట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, తర్వాత మనకి మష్రూమ్స్ చాలా వరకు వైటమిన్ డి ఉంటుంది. సో ఆల్ దిస్ యూ కెన్ ఇంక్లూడ్ విత్ ద డైట్. బట్ డైటరీ సోర్సెస్ కంటే మనకి సన్ నుంచి వచ్చేది చాలా వరకు ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో సన్ ఎక్స్పోజర్తో పాటు ఈ ఫుడ్స్ని కూడా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటే వైటమిన్ డి వస్తుంది. నాన్ వెజిటేరియన్స్ అయితే ఫిష్ అండ్ సీ ఫుడ్స్ అండ్ egg yolk and all are very important. So milk products are all vitamin D rich sources only, you can include.
Thank you. Another query. Generally, after postmenopausal, many of the women will be facing the problem of calcium deficiency, and they will have a problem of lumbar spondylosis or cervical spondylosis, arthritis problem. How to overcome this problem, the middle-aged woman?
Okay. So yeah, post menopausal or during that menopausal time, calcium deficiency is very common in women. So that's why we have to prepare for this menopausal time with having a proper calcium intake. కాల్షియం సోర్సెస్ అన్నవి మనకు రెగ్యులర్గా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. లైక్ మిల్క్ కానీ మిల్క్ ప్రోడక్ట్స్ అంటే లో ఫ్యాట్ మిల్క్ యూ కెన్ ఇంక్లూడ్. లైక్ మిల్క్ అనేసరికి చాలా మంది నేను ఓవర్ వెయిట్ ఉన్నా మేడం మిల్క్ తాగొచ్చు అంటారు. నో ప్రాబ్లమ్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ మిల్క్, you include milk, and then also along with that you can include all the green leafy vegetables. ఇవన్నీ మీరు రెగ్యులర్గా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకోవాలి. అండ్ ఆల్సో సప్లిమెంటేషన్ కూడా తీసుకుంటూ ఉండాలి, ఎందుకంటే మనం తీసుకునే ఫుడ్ ద్వారా వచ్చే కాల్షియం మేబీ సరిపోదు. సో ఎక్స్ట్రా డోస్ ఆఫ్ కాల్షియం హ్యావ్ టు బీ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ ఇన్ దిస్ మెనోపాజల్ టైమ్. అండ్ ఫోలిక్ యాసిడ్ అండ్ ఐరన్, B12 ఇవన్నీ వెజిటబుల్ ఈ సోర్సెస్ మనం ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉండాలి డైట్లో. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రిపేర్డ్ యాజ్ పర్ యువర్ ఏజ్. మనం చేంజ్ అవుతున్న కొద్దికి ఫేజెస్, our diet has to focus on that particular vitamins, minerals ఉండేలాగా చూసుకోవటం. అండ్ ఫిజికల్ యాక్టివిటీ, అండ్ మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే పోస్ట్ మెనోపాజల్ వెయిట్ గెయిన్ కూడా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. సో వెయిట్ పెరగకుండా ఉండేలాగా ఫిజికల్ యాక్టివిటీ చేసుకుంటూ అండ్ ఇంక్లూడ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ గ్రీన్ లీఫీ వెజిటబుల్స్, ఫ్రూట్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటే తప్పకుండా మనకి కాల్షియం డెఫిషియన్సీ రాకుండా బ్యాలెన్స్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎందుకంటే ఈ టైంలో కాల్షియం డెఫిషియన్సీస్ కామన్ కాబట్టి ఈ సోర్సెస్తో పాటుగా డైటరీ సోర్స్ అండ్ ఆల్సో సప్లిమెంటేషన్ యూ కెన్ ఇంక్లూడ్.
Last query, ma'am. Ma'am, should we take iodized salt or not?
Iodized salt, yeah, iodized salt is what we recommend. Like nowadays people are ending up with thyroid problems. ఇప్పుడు చాలా వరకు ఈ థైరాయిడ్ is very common in youngsters, mostly even 15-16 years వాళ్ళు they are coming up with the thyroid imbalance. And post pregnancy, and also women who are working are having the highest thyroid problems. కాబట్టి మనకి ఐడైజ్డ్ సాల్ట్ అనేది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ చాలా మంది ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఈ రాక్ సాల్ట్, ఈ మధ్య ఈ రాక్ సాల్ట్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనకి న్యాచురల్ సాల్ట్స్ అని ఇంక్లూడ్ చేస్తున్నారు. కానీ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఐడైజ్డ్ దెన్ ఓన్లీ యూ ఇంక్లూడ్, because this is the only source of iodine we get from the diet. సో రెగ్యులర్ ఐడైజ్డ్ సాల్ట్ తీసుకోవటం వల్ల మన థైరాయిడ్స్ నుంచి మనల్ని రెగ్యులర్ రాకుండా ఉండడానికి హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ థైరాయిడ్, టు బ్యాలెన్స్ ఇట్, టు కీప్ యువర్ హెల్తీ, దిస్ ఐడైజ్డ్ సాల్ట్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for your valuable suggestions and explanations. And we are very happy to be here, you be here. And we are very happy to tell that the session was very interactive and it's very informative. And especially the session was addressing our young generations regarding their weight management and regarding the obesity management, diabetic management, and dietary resources, balanced diet, and especially the topics which we are covering regarding the girls' problems like how to overcome the calcium deficiency and iron deficiency, and how to overcome the problem of anemic. That was very good, man. And regarding to how to overcome the problems to in the bodybuilding, when we discuss about the youngsters of boys, how to overcome the problems to build up the body, protein intake, balanced diet. It was very informative, man. And the tips at the last, which were explained by you, it was very informative, and it is very valuable suggestions which have been given by you, man. And we hope that all the youngsters and the participants who are in the meeting will follow and will maintain the healthy nutrition and will be maintaining their health. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Srikanth Garu, and thank you all for listening to this long talk. And I think this is most useful for you. And I thank all the management and especially Sunita Garu and all the faculty team for inviting me. And it was I'm very happy to interact with the students. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, participants, for hearing lecture, and we'll have a short break. And after this, we'll have session 3 at 12 o'clock. First module 6, proficiency mode.